Welcome back. It's MLG Anaheim 2014. And we have, I think, some what I would describe as interesting developments in the group. In Group A, we're already seeing Polt and Scarlet be the front runners. This upcoming match is one that I'd normally say should clearly go to RagnaroK's favor, but he's going up against Illusion, who weirdly beats the good players and struggles versus the other people. He beat Trap. What was the other win that he had? He beat Patreus 2-1. So this is actually a chance, I think, for Illusion to get some pretty interesting wins with maybe some aggressive Hellbat play.
Yeah, I just spoke to him and he didn't seem very confident going into this series. I just casted RagnaroK on the main stage and I must say he played very, very well against Polt. It wasn't enough to win the series as Polt is still undefeated in the MLG group stage play, but RagnaroK did play very well, so this is going to be tough for Illusion regardless. Yeah,
I mean, I think that Illusion, knowing Illusion is going to try to devote to Hellbats. He's going to go for the Imba build of the week and try to roll it in. And as you were talking about up on the main stage, RagnaroK played just beautifully against Polt, and in those matches relied a lot on getting the early roaches, favoring roach speed, roach upgrades, and then later on went for the usual Mutalisk, Baneling, Zergling type stuff. So as we hop into the game, it's going to be on Frost. The positions are a little bit of the awkward ones, because that creep spread can be such a pain in the ass, Roddy.
Yes, it can. As you guys can see, we have horizontal spawning locations on the south side of the map. And over here in the right bottom side of Frost, we have our red Terran player representing root for root. It is Illusion.
And spawning on or yonder left location. He used to be on a Zubu, but then LOL. And he's now teamless. It is RagnaroK.
The no filter B stream, that's what this is called. It should be a fun series. I hope that Chris is going to be able to put up a good fight against this excellent Zerg player. And what we do know is that Chris is a pretty dangerous Terran. He loves action-packed games. He is not good in sitting back and like trying to sit on an advantage and then eventually just close it out. No, Chris is the type of Terran that likes to make something happen and loves it when there is non-stop action. And RagnaroK seems to be a very active Zerg as well, so perhaps this works in Illusion's favor.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to have to be the one thing that it is the positions. This is slightly awkward for Zerg early, but then starts to get bad for Terran real quick. I mean, it used to be the opposite. You used to just say, oh, no, it's so good for Terran close positions, blah-blah-blah-blah-blah-blah. But I think Scarlet has been showing everybody that the Terran... Actually, it's not just Scarlet. Look, let me back up. The Widow Mine was changed. Once upon a time, the Widow Mines would burrow and you'd drill forward with your Marine Marauder troop. And that would be most of the game, was the Marine Marauder mine force slowly trickling forward, occasionally getting pushed back. And what we've seen is that it's pulled back to much more of like, it's like a solar flare, right? The Terran player holds back and then extends forward and lashes out at the Zerg, and then has to pull back and then does these more lashing outs. So we see that on this map, it's quite difficult for the Terran to do any of those in a surprising fashion. Zerg's going to know everything that's up, and that's really, in my eyes, what makes it a little bit trickier for the Terran player in these spots once you hit, 12, 13 minutes.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh, I love it. We love it when you can't agree more.
I just can't. Like, I try to add something, but then you just hit the nail on the coffin. Every single sentence is just like, Sean, I have one more thing, and then you named that too, and I was like, well, I just can't agree anymore, Sean.
Wow.
You've said it all. It is a command center first over here in the right bottom side of the map for Illusion. He follows it up with a Rex and still relatively quick refinery. So we might see some early Reaper despite this being a command center first opening. Yeah,
I mean, I think generally speaking, anything that gets Hellions pretty quick is definitely an Illusion style play. In this spot, I like the idea that Illusion will be teasing some early push, will be debating the idea of an early push. We see Polt pulling all sorts of cool moves with a couple Medivacs, a couple Hellbats, a couple Hellions, a couple Marines. I haven't seen Illusion much lately. I actually don't even know what Illusion has been up to.
He took a break of StarCraft for a while, and then he came back, and then he took another break, and then he qualified for WCS, so he started playing a little more again. But Illusion is still the good old Illusion who just loves to be overly hyper-aggressive. Like I said before, he's just not the type of player that likes to sit back and macro up. This is not really his cup of tea. He likes to make stuff happen, and he actually just used all of his gas immediately for the refinery, so there is no Reaper follow-up. Illusion has probably not seen anything up to this point in the game. No, he hasn't even found the natural yet. So for all he knows, Sean, this could either be a 5 base or a 1 base Zerg.
Yeah. I mean, for any new viewers watching, that's totally not true. He's expecting him to be 2 base, going on to 3 base. But I mean, the spirit of your comment, that exaggerated extreme, is oh so important. If you have no clue what Zerg's up to, if you don't even know how many queens he has, you have no read. I mean, Illusion is checking for the most obvious thing. Is there a third? But I mean, it looks like he's just going to committedly go Hellion Banshee and figure it out later.
It was actually a gasless opening for RagnaroK over here on the left side of the map, so there is no circling speed. Illusion has absolutely nothing to worry about. That is something we know, that's not something he knows yet. He's going to try to send his SUVs in, he's going to see, oh, that's one extractor, now he's going to check the main base. He sees there is no layer yet. So I think this is pretty much all that he has to know up to this phase in the game, and that's pretty much as good as he could have hoped for with his little SUV.
And I think that's all the knowledge that you really need. In this spot, you're going to go, oh, you're probably going Roach. Why is that? Well, if you wanted to go something for that had a little bit more Ling focus, you would have gassed earlier. Zerglings are awful without speed in this matchup. Because if you have slow Zerglings against Hellions, okay, there you go. Slow Zerglings are awful in this matchup. So with that delayed gas, the only choice to reasonably defend against Hellions are going to be those Roaches. We're seeing the Hellions move forward. They're going to be advancing towards that 3rd base, trying to control a little bit of space. And oh, baby, it's going to be the Hellbat.
Ah, you know your Illusion, Sean. You said you don't know what he's up to lately. Well, you know him still very well. As we see that armory go down, and it's very likely that we will see a little bit of Hellbat action coming out from him. We see 1-1 being researched already. It's 7-minute 30-second mark for RagnaroK. So this is also kind of shaping up to be, I'm going to make a bunch of Roaches, I'll defend against your silly push. But then he might actually just counterattack with even more Roaches to the other side of the map.
Yeah.
He's currently on 52 workers, and you can produce so many Roaches of 52 workers that it's not even funny.
But it almost is funny. In fact, if he gets enough Roaches, I will laugh and laugh. Because so many Terran players love to do all the cute stuff. I'm going to kill you with Vikings, and then I'm going to get some Marauders and Medevacs. I'm going to do a drop. I'm going to hit you from here. I'm going to hit you from here. And then a bunch of Roaches just kill the Terran. We're already seeing a little bit of the startings. So the success of this attack, ooh, pinching that queen would be a nice one.
Yeah, especially because there's quite a bit of energy, so it will most likely try to drop some more crypto ones. You could also just switch queens up and use the low HP one to inject and send the other one to the front. 8 more Roaches on the production tab, so there is definitely a reasonable Roach number. Illusion is moving out. He's actually perhaps keeping all of his units together. Chris probably that type of player that just wants to use his Hellions, complemented with his stimmed bio, and try to win the straight up engagement. But I feel that RagnaroK has not overdone it with the greed. He has some creep spread, he has plenty of Roaches, he has 11 now, he needs a few more, but I think he will be able to get them out in time. There we go, 14 Roaches, and I feel from this point on it will be nothing but Roaches.
And it looks like the Hellbat, ooh, even the Viking joining in, trying to do his own Hellbat impersonation. We caught you. We see exactly what you are. This advance forward, I think, is going to be a little tricky for Illusion.
There are so many Roaches on the way. Like, Illusion has to be extremely careful. I don't think he's going to be able to kill the Zerg over here. Hellbats, of course, are very tanky units, and they will be able to soak up quite a few shots. But so far, sick micro by RagnaroK, pulling the Roaches back. He can start working on the Marauders soon if he wants to. Illusion is going to try to save them. But Illusion really has to worry about the counterattack that is about to happen to the other side of the map.
Yeah, just Hellbats are not ever really going to deal much damage to Roaches, because Roaches shoot and then pull back.
Oh,
Hellbats
there's not even a single bunker.
Range.
How many Marauders are we looking at? 6. Maybe if they stand on top of the ramp and they get a lot of free shots off. But there are about to, like 20 Roaches about to make their way across the map, and there is nothing but a few Marauders over here for the Terran player.
Yeah, I mean, in this spot, once you see the Roaches get pulled as Zerg, you're like, delicious. My Roach play is so strong. It looks like we're going to see RagnaroK not just kill off all the SCVs, but also Illusion.
Yeah, he's going to pick up the Hellbat now. There are still so many Roaches, a few too many Roaches for these Marauders to currently deal with. Already 23 SCVs have fallen, a few more are being pulled. Sick play by RagnaroK, and he droned up behind it. He has a Baning Nest, so this is not a super all-in. This was just a well-calculated counterattack to the opening of Illusion, and RagnaroK is showing us that, yeah, Hellbats are scary, but Roach counters are even more scary.
Yeah, in fact, in general, I hate the word counter, as in like, oh, this counters that. But that was a counter. if you go Hellbats, I'm not looking to hold it off. I'm looking to hurt you. I'm going to hold this off and then just 1A to your base, and 23 SCVs dead later. RagnaroK has a big, big lead.
Yes, he does. We see Illusion sending out a medevac. It's actually an empty medevac. Perhaps it's just to check what's going on. He wants to see if he has to worry about the crazy push. At the same time, we do see this medevac on the south side of the map that will be dropped in the main base. He might be able to cancel that 12-minute 30-second speed timing, which would be a 6 snipe.
Picking off drones, going for a little bit more of the guaranteed damage. I like it. Making sure that he can at least pick off some stuff. Advancing forward mid-map has a lot of Marauders in this force, and we see that the Marauder production still continues strong. And Illusion is not relenting on his Hellbat production. He doesn't have a third orbital command. He is committedly going to base in this game.
And he doesn't really have a whole lot of SVs to work with either, so it's not like he can just like replace that with mules.
Oh, no.
His economy is actually hurting. There's Banelings in the mix. Baneling's speed is about to finish up. A scan will go down to pick up a couple of these script tumors. Here comes the swarm, and so far this is going very well for RagnaroK.
Down goes all the Banelings, marching forward, colliding with everything, and wait a minute. Somehow Illusion didn't just stay alive in that attack, but actually seemed to deal with it rather handily. Those Marauders absorbed a lot of damage from the Banelings and are now pushing back the Roaches, but of course RagnaroK calmly building Mutalisks.
But there are still a few Marines in the mix as well, but here come all the Zerglings, and Zerglings are pretty effective against Marauders, so for now Illusion is forced to pick up his units. Illusion also having like 8 medevacs over here. It's like more medevacs than he actually has bio units. He has a few more bio units on the other side of the map, and even though Illusion did relatively well in that fight, a little better than I thought he would, it doesn't really matter. He does not have 3 command centers. This is a 2-base Terran against a 4-base Zerg. All that RagnaroK needs to do is just produce units, 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 and he'll be more than fine. Oh, and he just fires up 11 drones. Well, Sean,
well,
if there was ever a moment not to make 11 drones, this was probably the moment.
That was probably the anti-11 drone moment, as you suggest. With this many Marauders, I mean, a Marauder-heavy mix is not something that we really see out of Terrans. We normally see Marauders just sort of dabble in compositions, but they can absorb so much damage from the Zerglings, so much damage from the Banelings. There's the stem. And it looks like the Marauders have begun to absorb the hits. We're seeing the Marines at the top side trying to pick off all the Mutalisks. There's only a few Banelings left, and whoa! Illusion's micro. The Marauder, whoa! We don't see the Marauder really make this much of a strong appearance in this matchup.
Illusion is doing really well in the fight. He's even trading perhaps more effective than RagnaroK, but RagnaroK is just mining so much more. It's still 4 bases against 2 bases. He has to be a tiny bit careful, because if he loses one more fight, Illusion might just run in, and he might be able to intercept the reinforcements forever. We currently only have 4 Banelings, but there are 9 more on the way, and with 13 Banelings that should be enough. I have no idea how Illusion is staying in this game on 2 bases and actually winning fights. It's not how things are supposed to be done, Sean.
Well, there's the scan to eliminate a lot of creep tumors. I mean, you don't need a terribly large amount of money to do a lot of pressure with Terran. You just need a lot of expansions to maintain that pressure. So this is going to be straight up the red deck wins from Magic the Gathering. We're getting close to turn 6. If he doesn't win, he's all out of options. He's fizzling dry.
That reference went completely over my head.
Bang.
I understand the purpose, but I have no idea what a red deck in Magic is. I'm sorry, Sean.
Well, I mean, imagine the idea of an all-in, but happening a little bit more over time. This isn't exactly an all-in. This is going to be a 5 to 6 minute battle. But in the course of that 5 to 6 minute battle, we're going to see Illusion eventually run out of steam.
So he needs to win. Bottom line is, either Illusion is going to have to win right here, right now, or within the next 30 seconds, or he's dead. Mutalisks will fly into the main base. They get a lot of SCVs, but of course the battle is the most important thing that's going on right now. Banelings getting dangerously close to a lot of these Marines and Marauders. Illusion is going to have to split like an actual god if he wants to win this game.
I am going to be so impressed if Illusion can pull this off. We see that Baneling count is tremendous. 35 out. Mines beginning to step forward. 1 Marine up at the north base. But as we see the push move in, the cluster is very, very strong for Illusion. He has his units very close together, but that one mine connection was big.
Wow.
That's going to allow Illusion to continue to step forward.
Is this actually happened? Did Illusion just win a TVZ on 2 bases against a 4-base Zerg? RagnaroK with 85 workers is going to bring the Mulus back. There are not too many Marines remaining over here. There are just a couple of them actually. The Mulus might be able to clean this up. There are Widow Mines that could burrow, but not before. Reinforcements have arrived. Oh my god, is Illusion actually going to do this?
Look at the Banelings rolling in. The Marauders warmly accept them. Give me the big hug. I think we are seeing something very special in this match. The Marauder. Oh, everyone always talks about the Marines. It deals more damage. You just need to micro it well enough. Well, you know what? You just can't out-micro Banelings. And Illusion saying, fine, I'll go toe-to-toe with them. I will emphasize the Marauder. That's going to be the core of my composition. I don't care if you kill off everything else. The Marauders will stand strong and allow me to keep pushing.
We're not there just yet. This one is not over, but now the Royce-Warren has gone down, so it will be nothing but Zerglings and Mulus from this point on. Mines is actually doing some friendly fight. Have to be careful. A few Mulus spawn, and 2 out of 3 get picked off immediately. Army supply, this is still very close. Illusion is barely mining anymore. He has lost a lot, but he has a very scary army that I'm not sure if RagnaroK is ever going to have the right amount of units to deal with. He's morphing a few extra Banelings at home. The Medevacs are low on HP. This is going to be real close regardless. These Widow Mines really have to stop doing friendly fire because every unit is very important for Illusion.
Illusion, I really think needs to... This is the most important moment of this fight. I mean, the supply counts are super close, but Illusion is on the verge of having everything fall apart. In these very small forces, it's extremely tough to try to stay alive. You can't reinforce. Illusion's been having such a difficult time with that. Illusion also has to be very careful about friendly fire mines.
Like the reinforcements.
Retreat. And the hit on the center of the Mutilus pack. Illusion needs to jettison out fast.
The reinforcements are coming though. It's just Marines, as these are the only Medevacts that Illusion has. He's not rich enough to make more Medevacts. This Marine count is high enough, however, though, at least for now, picking up these Mutas, picking up these Roaches. Man, I can't believe this is happening, Sean.
This is
2
insane.
base against 4. Well, it used to be 4. Now it's just 2 against 1,
insanity. The Banelings moving in. I think RagnaroK is good. Entire event. Unclear if it helped Zerg or Terran more.
I guess it was Zerg in the long run, as there's still a few units remaining, but all of them.
Oh, GG! Whoa!
What a game.
Okay, we got to talk about that. We have been seeing Terrans since the dawn of time try to really unmarauder their compositions as much as possible. Like, well, you know, maybe I'll have one tech lab, you know, making marauder, just a little bit of variety. But I mean, that was 4 barracks out of 6 with tech labs. That was super marauder heavy. I mean, what do you make of that mix?
It's just Illusion type of style, I guess. You know, Marauders are good in trading with Banelings, and Illusion loves to fight over and over again. He loves to just like get something going in the middle of the map. And it's an interesting mix. I'm not sure how well it would work in a longer macro game. It's really hard to say, because this was a really bizarre scenario where Illusion never decided to get a third command center. He just didn't. Like, he didn't even try. It wasn't like it was cancelled or it was denied. No, he just never dropped it, never showed any sign of willing to go up to 3 bases. He was just trading fantastic in some of the battles. I do think that RagnaroK made his life a lot harder, because a few times, like, it's like you're playing as a 2-base Terran who doesn't have a third command center. You're already on 73 drones on 4 bases. Then he makes 12 more drones. It's like, no, the last thing you need right now.
Careful.
Yeah, the last thing you need right now is like 12 more workers. It was a really fun game regardless, though, and I feel if the mines didn't kill so many of A, the Marines, and B, took out so many HP of those Medevacs, it could have been slightly different.
Extremely close fight. When we come back, they're playing on a map that is very good for Illusion's pushing style. It'll be on Overgrowth. Who will win? We'll find out.